G'day invaders and welcome to SynthSpacies. And for today's video, it's going to be a very casual one. I just thought I'd put a question out to you guys. What has been your biggest gaming memory? Now earlier today, I put this question out to my Twitter followers. And you can follow me, by the way, on @SynthSpacies. I've got quite a few followers now. Pretty chuffed about that. But I put the question out earlier. What has been your biggest gaming memory? It's a pretty open question. Not specific to any part of gaming, just gaming. And I got quite a few responses. I'll put them down there and you'll be able to read them throughout this video. But I think you'll find a lot of those responses are things like opening up a Mega Drive for Christmas when it first got released, completing a video game for the first time after hours of playing it. I can certainly relate to that. Also, there was one there playing a full player game with mates, and for me, I've got similar memories when it comes to that, but with Xbox Live, playing Halo 3 on Xbox Live when that was huge. That was a pretty cool moment in gaming for me, and that's not that long ago compared to me with video games. And speaking of me and my memory of video games, I go way back compared to most of you watching the channel. The channel's called SynthSpacies for a reason. I've been playing since Space Invaders was the big thing at the time. So I've got a lot more memories than most of you would have. And so, like, some of my memories are quite unique and quite cool. Things like, I don't know, just recently Xbox Fan Fest. That's just like only last year. That was a cool thing for me when it comes to gaming. Playing arcade games back when arcades were a big thing. Playing Afterburner and getting inside the Afterburner machine for the first time and hearing that damn cool music and having the machine throw you around. Street Fighter 2, when that was huge, seeing a wall full of nothing but Street Fighter 2 machines back to back, that was epic. You know, there's a lot of these cool gaming moments that I've got in my life, but I think I've got one gaming moment that trumps most people. Now, back in 1991, I was still in high school and I was working on my own Sega magazine. There's no surprise there. And so I used to call Sega quite a lot because I was running this magazine. They would send me games to review for my little magazine, which is quite cool of them actually in retrospect that they were being able to do that to an 17, 18-year-old. And I used to ask to come in, and they would then let me go visit the hotline and visit the Sega office quite a few times actually. But there was this one occasion where they phoned me. Now this is in 1991, I'm still in high school and it's still early in the year, and I get a phone call saying, could you come in? We want you to come in, we've got something big that we want to show you. Now I knew that at the time, because I used to buy loads of magazines, computer magazines, and I knew at the time that Sega were going to be replacing Alex Kidd as their mascot. And I remember seeing it, might have been Mean Machines actually, or Computer Gaming, CVG, I think it was that, I'm not too sure, I have to double check. There was an article, very small article, not really all that overly big, but the importance of it was huge, and it just said Alex Kidd is due to be replaced by Sega as their mascot with a hedgehog. More news to come as we find out. And it just had a picture of one of the hedgehogs in the Alex Kidd in Enchanted Castle game. And I remember reading that thinking, why are they replacing Alex Kidd? I like Alex Kidd, he's cool. And never thought much more of it. Now you'd think that could have been an April Fool's joke, but it turned out to be, obviously as we know, true. So I turn up to Sega and they sit me in this little room, and there's a 30cm TV, and they had this Mega Drive with a circuit board sticking out of it, which was an EEPROM reader, and that was how they got their games. The beta games, that is, to review for marketing purposes. That was the first time I actually ever saw one, and every other time I visited they had hidden them away and so that I couldn't see it, but this was the first time they allowed me to see it. And so they sat me down and they said, Brian, this is going to be bigger than Mario. bigger than Mario? They said, yes, bigger than Mario. Take it away and enjoy. So they sit me down and they turn it on, and of course, well, I'll just show you. The Sega logo flashes up, and I heard Sega for the first time. That was the first thing that I thought was a bit weird. Not Sega, Sega. That was the first time I realised we've been saying it wrong all this time in Australia. And then the title screen comes up, and it's just gorgeous compared to anything else that was out at the time on the Mega Drive. So that's why when I hear people slagging off Sonic, saying that it's underrated, and I mean not underrated, that it's overrated I should say, and that it's a boring game to play, they don't know how big an impact it actually had on us gamers back in the day, and they don't appreciate that. So I played this game and I was absolutely amazed, and I don't think I truly realised until a little bit after what just happened. I was given access to a major milestone game in history before the public got to play it. And I remember it was many years later where I realised, hang on, that was actually pretty cool. So, and of course, a couple of months or 6 months down the track, I ended up working for Sega. So I ended up getting to see stuff like that on a more regular basis. Things like Streets of Rage 2, I got to play that before that was even completed. I remember having Streets of Rage 2 sitting in my bag while on the bus and hearing kids behind me flicking through a game magazine going, oh, that's Streets of Rage 2, I can't wait to get my hands on that. And then I actually pulled out the circuit board and showed them. I said, mate, I've got it here. So that was a cool, yes, I did brag. So that was my favourite gaming moment, and it's pretty hard to top that. In fact, I don't think I ever will top that. It's sad to say. And so yeah, that's why when you see my videos and you see this guy all over the place, that's why he's got a special place in my heart. And one of the other things that I got from Sega, I don't actually have many tangible mementos from the company, but I do have this little stick pin. And this is a staff member stick pin that was given out to staff members. I don't see it around too often these days, but I had a few crazy girlfriends that threw a lot of stuff out, which is kind of sad. I had a heap of these badges, but I held on to this one. And so this is my little memento to show the time that I was working at Sega. So that was just a really casual look back at my best gaming moment. Now I'm interested to see what your best gaming moment would have been. It could have been anything, like a console that you received. Did you get a Nintendo 64 day one? Did you buy a PlayStation 1 when it first came out? Maybe it was the GameCube. Or was it a particular game that you played that absolutely just blew you away, or is still knocking you out for a 6 today? Things like Minecraft, people are still getting into that game in a big way. Or it could be, I don't know, Zelda, the Breath of the Wild, that game might be blowing you away. Or it could be an old game that came out years ago and you're still playing to this day. Skyrim, that's another one that rings a bell. Well, it could be in that category. But yeah, leave a comment below, your best gaming memory. Or it could have been a time that you shared a gaming memory with your parents for the first time and got them into gaming. That's something I'd like to hear about. Very hard to get parents involved in gaming, and it's really a big shame that parents don't get involved in gaming with their kids more, because that's a huge bond, and if the two can share that, then that's a huge something. That's something that I never got. But yeah, please leave a comment below. Please leave a like if you are new to the channel. Also, please subscribe. I've got new videos coming out all the time. Some pretty cool ones I've got in the can ready to upload. I just got to edit them. But yeah, in the meantime, my name's been Brian and I've been gaming since Spacies. Thanks guys.